We are speaking with so many people across the WSI network. It's been a real pleasure getting to hear origin stories that go back literally to the founding, also some more recent additions, but the common thread here is painting a picture of an amazing organization doing some pretty groundbreaking things. And that leads us to our conversation today with Mark Jamieson, who joins us from Ottawa. Mark, how are you doing today?
Good, Ryan. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, Mark, I'm curious, what's the origin story for you? When did you sort of hop on the WSI train, and how did you find yourself getting the ticket?
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny story. I've done the entrepreneurial thing my whole life. I owned a security and surveillance company in Toronto for about 18 years, and the writing was on the wall for that industry at the time, and I knew I needed to have to make a change. So started looking at different business opportunities, and to be quite honest, I was a pretty traditional marketer. We ran an organization without even having a website, for the time that I was with them. And the digital marketing thing was interesting to me, but I didn't think it was a direction I was going to go in. Got introduced to WSI, got introduced to the franchise model that they had. And, long story short, I bought in 2014, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So that must have been a pretty interesting change for you then, kind of going from, who needs a website? That's fine, to, all right, digital is literally going to define my career. I mean, did you find that 180 pretty jarring, or were you kind of supported and helped to really ease into that change?
Yeah, you know what? It certainly was different. I'm a bit of a tech junkie, so the transition was pretty easy for me. I just, I fell in love with SEO, but I think more than anything is I just fell in love with the organization. Honestly, it didn't come with its roadblocks and its hurdles, but certainly it's been an absolute joy to scale this business to where it is today. And the transition was pretty seamless for me. Yeah.
Nice. So how have you seen WSI evolve since 2014? Yeah, 11 years now. I mean, have you found yourself growing along with the big changes they've sort of, seen over the last decade?
Yeah, I think, how can you not evolve? I don't think you have a choice. I think, one of the fundamental strengths of WSI is its ability to foresee the future and move in that direction. So I think for that reason, obviously we've evolved from, or they've evolved from, a simple web development company to a digital marketing agency to embracing and enhancing and building amazing AI technologies, going in a direction that we know, going into a direction that we know where it's heading into, I think is what I'm trying to say. WSI has an amazing foresight, and, I think there certainly are leaders in knowing where we need to go to be able to grow our agencies.
What do you think makes WSI different than other agencies? Because, I mean, there's no shortage of them. There's a million options out there. So what makes it different? How does an agency stick around for 30 years, really, right?
I think that's easy. It's, the model they built, I'm certain, isn't an easy one to scale. But what has evolved over 30 years is the network and this amount of intelligent people, who are able to perfect and foresee and consult and advise. I think that is the winning formula, not just for the agencies themselves, but for the organization itself. Everyone feeds off of everybody's strengths, and we're able to grow through our mistakes, through our failures. And, I think it's this family, this global family that they've been able to build is the backbone and the foundation of its ability to grow over 30 years.
So 30 years, 30 lessons is a common theme and a question that I've been asking everybody in this network. So I'm curious, Mark, what's your lesson? What's something you've learned on this journey that's really landed right in your lap?
I think Ryan, you nailed it early in the interview. It's evolution. Nothing stays the same. Say digital marketing is dog years. What worked last year might as well be 7 years ago. It just doesn't anymore. If there's one lesson that I've learned is to be open-minded, to evolve, to know that the way you did something last year is probably not the way it needs to be done this year. So don't let pride get in the way. You have to grow.
Is that the same kind of advice that you would give to someone that's just joining into the WSI network, or is there something else that somebody needs to know if they've looked through that sea of agencies, landed on WSI, went, all right, I'm going to launch my journey? What's something they should know?
Certainly a piece of advice that they need to be aware of. I think, for new agencies or new ICs getting into the game, there's so much that you're going to get, that it's going to get thrown at you. You're going to be bombarded with information, and it is absolutely impossible to be an expert at everything in this field that we're in. So get great at one or two or three things, niche out. I know a lot of people talk about niches. I'm not saying you specifically have to niche into a certain sector or vertical, but just get really, really good at a few parts of this business, whether it's SEO, whether it's AdWords, whether it's social media, whether it's AI consulting, whether it's just consulting in general. Just become an expert at something. If you can do that, you have a chance.
You're going to stick out. So let's talk about AI for a second here, because it's hard not to. But what role do you see AI playing in digital transformation here in the next kind of 5 to 10 years? I know it's something that WSI took a really thoughtful approach into, what the direction that it gave the people within the network. So I'm curious your thoughts on AI and impact here on sort of your field.
Yeah, well, AI's impact is already felt, I think, and you'd be a fool to think that it's not going to lead where we will be going in the next 2 to 10 years. I think it's our responsibility, if we want to be able to succeed and scale and do well by our clients, to adapt and understand, what AI is, where it's going. But I do stand by this, Rob. As much as I love everything AI, I immerse myself in it on a daily basis. I'm a digital marketing agency first. You know what I mean? So my goal here is to be a digital marketing agency that knows how to use AI to enhance digital marketing this has really been our focus. We use it to build, we use it to research, we use it to analyze, and we use it to predict. And I think if you can do these things, and you can do it better than everybody else, then you will stand a chance of pushing through this new world that we're venturing into here.
It is a new world. It can be kind of terrifying, but you're right. I think that approach is a common thread from the people that I've chatted with WSI, which I think gives people a lot of security. I'm curious, though. This is the question that I love to ask every single person in these interviews, and I've gotten a lot of different answers. I got a lot of similar ones too. And if you had to describe WSI in a single word, what comes to mind? What's your word and why?
Family.
Yeah, that's a good one, eh?
It's as simple as that. It's almost an extended family, if I can, be so blunt. I think that most of the ICs have been involved in this organization for 5+ years, probably feel the same. We're a close-knit group. Consult, we laugh, we cry, we brainstorm. I think that, if I had to, give it one word, it would be, the closest thing to an extended family that I think I've ever.
Well, it's a very common answer, is family, which I do not think is a bad thing whatsoever. One of the founders chose alchemy, and I'm excited for you to see that clip where he describes what No, well, Mark, thanks so much for your time, your insight into WSI, into 30 years. It's been a pleasure. More stories to tell, more work to be done, but the network appreciates you and all that you do.